Intro. Let's see, you got any dance moves? Can you do the wave? Like, like, sheesh.
I'm just go to Jamaican vibe. You know what I
Vibe out. Small part. Dun, dun, dun. The Mina Unshackled podcast here with Ari and Jason with Kulture Inc. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, Jason, and why you're here?
Absolutely. I've been in medical cannabis since 2009. Actually started in the state of Montana a long time ago.
Okay.
I'm here in Jamaica at CanX in representation of our company, Culture. Here just on the global expansion tour. We have some projects down in this Caribbean area, and
Nice.
so this is a good place for us to be
Very
in
cool.
order to meet some of the who's who in the Jamaican cannabis industry, as well as just continue to have a continued representation
Yeah.
of culture and what we're trying to do around the globe.
I love that. So what is culture?
So what we do at Culture is we specialize in partnering, deploying operational talent, legacy operational talent. I will add that point.
Okay.
Legacy is the key. A legacy operator is somebody that's been in medical cannabis or the cannabis industry documented for at least 10 years, which means that they were in an environment that wasn't always as cushy or peachy, if you will, as it is today. And we specialize in placing those folks in with, license holders in emerging markets and people who may have the business knowledge and the resources necessary, but not have the expertise that we have from being in cannabis for so long.
That is super cool. So you kind of like just connect people to get legal, you can say?
I wouldn't say that we connect them to get legal. I would say that we operate assets. We perform the day-to-day or provide the expertise to fill a void that they may need
Okay.
within their organization.
Nice. You just help them out a little bit.
We help them out a lot of bit in some instances,
Nice.
where we'll deploy talent who will be with that client through the process of either the build, design, or operating of the business. So whether that be cultivation, extraction, or confections, department
Or
heads is
confection.
kind of what we do. Yeah.
Nice. And how did you guys get started in that?
We got started, it's kind of a long story. Post 2018, a partner of mine, guy named Matthew Morgan, we partnered on the development of a brand in California called Ignite Cannabis.
I was going to say Matt from Ignite.
And that was with this cat named Dan Bilzerian. And after that was no longer kind of a good fit and a good place for us to be, we sought out on a new venture, and that was with Culture. And Culture actually started as a chain of retail roll-ups until kind of the Canadian market started to, and the Canadian capital started to dry up, and we switched Culture into what it is now, which is just a true agency model that allows us to be multifaceted and be involved in multiple projects in multiple states, cities,
Nice.
and countries.
So it's not necessarily plant touching.
We are plant touching in some regards. We don't hold the licenses though.
Yeah.
Right. So we allow whomever that local partner is in that state, jurisdiction, or country to be the license holder, and we just provide the expertise needed to operate that asset.
That is very cool. So if somebody wanted to get in contact with you guys or reach out to you for your services, how would they get in contact?
Yeah, they could go to the website, which is just culture.global. All of our Instagram, social media handles are the same at culture.global. They can message us at any of those places. We're happy to get back.
That's very cool. So is your primary market right now, would you say California?
I would not say California. That's probably our least active market. We really specialize in bringing California top-tier talent into the new markets. So Missouri, Mississippi, Massachusetts, and Arizona are some of the places that we are actively involved and have been involved in the past. New York has picked up for us, but our main focus has always kind of been on the global scene, and it's now starting to pick up with a lot of what's going on in Germany and Europe, down here in the Caribbean, and the importation and exportation of cannabis.
Yep, I hear a lot of people coming down to Jamaica and the Caribbean for cannabis. Is it legal now out there?
Um, Here in Jamaica, it's they're in the process of rounding out their program. So they're in like a pivotal point in getting an infrastructure established, and a market established where the world can have access to Jamaican cannabis. And I feel like Jamaican cannabis is one of the things that is their legacy in their own right, even more than obviously us. I feel like in California, but it's a global desire for consumers to be able to have access to Jamaican cannabis, and so
Mm-hmm.
it's not necessarily something that we're trying to be involved in right now at this stage, but it's good to know and to have a presence down here in the Caribbean.
Right, knowledge is power. I hear a lot of people coming down out to Jamaica to like seed hunt.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
I just spoke to real Rasta man himself from out here, and I guess he let me in on that little secret that they have seed banks. He was like, "We're trying to keep it just for us."
Yeah,
And he's
yeah,
like, "We want them indigenous to only Jamaica and
yeah,
the Rastafarians out here."
yeah, yeah. It's one thing that they have that is unique to a lot of different places is the seed catalog that these farmers have been able to build over the years.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't understand the climate and the things that go into their ability to grow superior cannabis in this region, and so that's one thing that has allowed them to stand apart in being able to create that catalog.
Right. I bet the climate is really good too for the actual growing of it.
Yeah, it is. The climate is far is superior to a lot of places for cultivating, but it's also strains that they've developed that have adapted and that excel here in this climate.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I bet if you took that seed and tried to plant it in a different environment, it
it's
wouldn't
gonna
do as well.
respond different. Yep,
Yep.
absolutely, absolutely.
That's
So
awesome. So yeah, come legalization or federal legalization, hopefully they're going to be able to like export their specific indigenous cannabis from out here.
that's what we would like to be involved in, that
Right.
supply chain, to bring Jamaican cannabis to not only Europe, America one day when they figure it out, but right now over into the EU.
Right. Have you guys faced any like hardships throughout your pathway? Any battles you've had to overcome that we can try to help the viewers maybe try to speed bump over?
Other than I went to federal prison for medical cannabis, but that was some time ago.
R.I.P.
Here in the future, I would say, look, just continue to support local farmers, support the efforts, understand the trials and tribulations that a lot of people who are pioneers at the base level of this thing have had to deal with and go through in order for people to be able to access their local dispensary. It's a
Right.
lot of prisoners out in the world, and people who have sacrificed and given up a lot, who have not, been repaid or whatever the
Uh-huh.
case may be for their sacrifice. And so you just got to remember those people, and you got to remember those people who put up so much on the line in order for us to be able to, have the access that we have
Right,
today.
and make it all progressive. I was gonna ask, do you have any like words of advice for people who are maybe going through the same situation or went to prison or just jail for like a kind of similar situation? They're losing hope.
Yeah, man. Look, I would just say you got to keep your head on straight. The sun comes up every day. You cannot allow people to judge you and base you on your past, quote unquote, transgressions and whatnot. And with that said, you also have to take that as a badge of honor in a certain sense, and know that one incident does not define you.
Yep.
You can be who you want to be, but there's no excuses. You got to also understand that now you're carrying some additional baggage, and therefore you got to show up and be better than you were yesterday, or be better than somebody who you may be competing with or trying to do business with. You've got to show up and give and cross every I and
Right,
cross
dot every
every
I,
T,
cross
dot
T.
every I, just so that there's no reason why somebody doesn't want to do business with you.
Yep, you always have to try to better yourself
No
and be
doubt.
the best version of yourself.
Absolutely.
Put it out there, right?
Absolutely.
If you love yourself, everybody else will love you too, right?
No doubt. Yep. You can only be you. It's one of you.
Yep.
Right. And so that works for everybody. There's one of each one of us, and we're not going to be for everybody, but we are for somebody. Yeah.
Right. For somebody, but not for everybody. I like that. Well, to close out, do you have maybe like a quote that you live by or something that keeps you going throughout the day to maybe keep them just passionate about themselves?
One thing I try to keep in mind is that we get one go around. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so with that being said, it's like, look, you can either cry over the spilled milk or you can continue to get up and push the ball down the field. So, like I said, I don't let the past define me. I move through every day and try to maximize every day the best I can. I don't really subscribe to excuses, nor do I subscribe to roadblocks and things like that. I feel like there's a will, there's a way,
Yep.
and you can punch through any obstacle that may
Right.
lie in your path.
Just keep pushing,
No
huh?
doubt. You got to
Just
keep it
keep
moving.
pushing. Can't
Ain't no
give up.
question.
Right. Like a baby. If you fall, you better get back up.
That's right. Absolutely.
I like that. Well, thank you for your time and letting us share your insights and experiences through the cannabis industry that you faced. And for you viewers out there, tune into another Mita Unshackled podcast. Jason and Ari, thank you.